Thank you. Lisa Stone, our grants manager, would be presenting this. Those of you on Public Works, Finance, and Administrative Committee have seen this before. This is the Americans with Disabilities Act Transition Plan, which is required as a condition generally through the Idaho Transportation Department by way of the federal government, mandating that we have processes in place, ways to for those who are challenged by the ADA to be able to communicate with the city, that we designate a specific staff member as the ADA coordinator, and also that if the council follows the staff's recommendations tonight, that we take this out for public comment, at which time we will bring back the balance of the document for official approval by and acceptance by the City Council at a later date. As you can see from the action items below, there are several steps that we need to take through here. The first is, and as I indicated, this has been brought, I believe we also had it on a City Council agenda some time ago, but it's been to committee several times. The first is to designate an ADA coordinator. There is a resolution that is within the packet. The ADA coordinator, as proposed, is Stephanie Kalaz, our city clerk.
Or her designee.
Yes. The purpose for that, or the reasoning for that, is Stephanie is the official communicant for filing of tort claims, notices with the city. So if someone is making an ADA grievance or a request for accommodation, Stephanie would be the clearinghouse for that request, and then she would then seek out the department that is best equipped to deal with it, and would ultimately be responsible for making sure that request is processed. Secondly, adoption of a complaint and grievance procedure along with notice under the Americans with Disability Act, and these are all contained in the attachment. We have two other forms. One is the ADA request for reasonable accommodation form. The third action or fourth action is to approve the ADA complaint and grievance form. And number five, action number five, is to approve us to then release this document for public comment. After, I believe, 45 days of public comment, and there will be public presentations, public opportunities for input, then we would then bring it back to the City Council for official adoption. And there's also a resolution for that official adoption. So, a fairly voluminous document, but one you've seen before, and those actions need to be made in order to set this process in motion.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Questions for Gary? Walter?
No, ma'am. Don't have a question.
All right.
Have a motion.
All right, good.
I would make a motion that we approve the resolution naming Stephanie Kalaz, city clerk, or her designee, as ADA coordinator, that we adopt the complaint and grievance procedure with notice under the Americans with Disabilities Act, that we approve the City of Moscow ADA request for reasonable accommodation form, that we approve the City of Moscow ADA complaint/grievance form, and that we approve the staff to release the Americans with Disabilities Act transition plan for pedestrian facilities in the public right-of-way for public comment for a period of 45 days prior to approval and adoption of the ADA 2010 standards for accessible design and the July 26, 2011 draft of the ADA proposed accessibility guidelines for pedestrian facilities in the public right-of-way.
Second.
Okay, we have Walter's motion and Tom's second. Walter, just for, or maybe Gary, clarification, do you think it prudent that we name Stephanie by name rather than calling out just her
City clerk?
It's actually required by federal law.
Her name.
We've been there.
Okay,
Or
very
federal
good.
guidelines, I should
Okay,
say.
other
I asked
discussion?
the same question.
Other discussion? Hearing none, we'll start the roll call vote with you, Dan.
Aye.
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 Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. The